at the end that you guys can add to some questions to the chat. But with so many people here, you guys, I want to thank everyone for coming. I really thought I was going to have like 5 people. Okay, we'll all get to talk and chat. And we have a lot of people here today. It's really exciting. So that's going to be a little bit hard. So I'm gonna let me pull up my little script here. So, welcome to my first ever Zoom class, and thank you so much for joining us today. Please be patient as we had no idea this many people would sign up. We're going to keep everybody muted. With this many people, we probably won't be able to get to all the questions in the chat, so we'll put in our emails at the end. Also, you guys, I've been really sick, so I'm a little bit sick. I got to get a little, okay, we're going to do that. And I'm super excited for all of you to meet Laura Murphy of
Juliana, you're muted. We
Juliana,
can't
you're
hear you.
muted.
Okay, sorry about that. I don't know how that happened. Okay, let me. Okay, and just so you guys know, this isn't my studio. I'm in my office. This is where I have the internet computer. Just if you guys were like, oh, is that her studio? No, it's not. And actually, Jenny, I don't know if you can see, but your cards are pinned up on my file cabinet in the back. Those are your postcards. Okay. So I begin every workshop, whether it's 2 hours or 7 days, with a question. Answering the question creates immediate intimacy and introduces us to each other, not just our names. Okay, hold on. I'm ahead of myself. Yeah, so normally in a workshop, I go around the table and ask everyone to say your first name, share the book you are thinking of working in so we can discuss book forms, and then we would answer the question. We don't have time to meet everyone here today, but if you'd like, you can please put your first name, where you are from, and then maybe what kind of book you're working in, whether it's an altered book, a blank journal or sketchbook, handmade book, what size book, what kind of paper, etc., in the chat. And so we also answer the question. And answering the question creates an immediate intimacy and introduces us to each other, not just our names and where we're from, but the real vulnerable us. The answers reveal our true being, and we know each other on a deeper level. This creates allies, sisters in arms. Questions set the stage and orient our hearts to the journey ahead. Even if you never leave home, visual journaling is a journey. An inner journey is as potent as an outer. But when we combine the two, such as traveling to Ireland for an in-depth retreat, sisters, this is life-changing. Not without its challenges, dragons, and threshold guardians, but this is how we grow. Our question is, what can't you get to? What can't you get to? If it feels safe, you can drop your brief answer into the chat. So I'm Juliana, and this is my book. I'm working in, I like to alter books. You can see it's broken here. This size is nice because it fits on my desk here and you guys can see it. And I usually start by just sticking stuff in here, adding to it. I rarely, finish anything. I make some pockets and I just, keep going. Um, but I really like altering books, and that's pretty much all I do for my practice these days. I used to work in blank sketchbooks and journals, but now I really like altering books for my practice. My throat is a little so for me, my answer, what I can't get to is what's real. I'm gonna cry. I'm already worked up. What's really important to me. I'm so busy with all these other things. And you guys, I'm sorry, I'm sick, so I'm just a little overwhelmed, but I can't get to the real heart of what I'm interested and invested in, and I let all of these other things get in my way. So I don't know if we can, if Laura is here, if we can ask, maybe Laura can show her book and answer the question. Would that work?
Did you want me to show what I'm working on, Julie?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, okay, so it's a concertina sketchbook,
Oh,
and I
beautiful.
started on it in Egypt.
Wow.
So, and I just feel like I can just continue on because Egypt's kind of become part of my life, so I can just add all the bits to it. And I'm using watercolors, but you know those little watercolor sheet thingies? They're made by Viviana or something like that. Anyway, they're fabulous. So that's what I'm using. And I got these really vibrant colors with them.
Oh, that's beautiful.
As for what I can't get to, I saw someone wrote cleaning out their garage, but that's how I feel like cleaning out my bedroom closet.
Uh-huh.
I
Yes.
am constant.
Yes.
I just always put that stuff on the back burner. So anyway,
Yeah, clearing out some space for ourselves. Yeah,
yeah.
so if you guys, I can't really see what's going on in the chat, but you guys can, continue, sharing your books and talking and answering the questions. Got this. Um, let's see, maybe I can. Yeah, somebody's working in a 9 by 12 history book. Um, let's see. How do I find this out? Oh, here we go. Journal with Mixed Media Paper, Albuquerque, Gustav Klimt books. So other people are altering books, altered books. Who's answering the question? Let me see if anybody has an answer I can see. What else can't people get to? Okay, I can't see that. So we're gonna, you guys keep going and adding your books and answering the question, which is again, what can't you get to? And I guess I think of that in terms of dreams. That's kind of what we're focusing on here is we're thinking about, some of you are interested in traveling with us to Ireland, which is why you're here. If that's not why you're here, that's fine too. But sort of acknowledging our dreams and looking into them. So hopefully everyone has their materials set up around you for easy access and your book is in front of you. Everybody make sure you have, water for your brushes. Um, and I want everyone to open your book to 2 pages. These can be at the beginning, the middle, or the end. We'll be working a 2-page spread. And I really have something on every page here, but not really anything finished. So this was just something I was playing around with, and I think that I'm not attached to it, so I can cover over it. But if you have 2 blank pages, that's fine. And I really, all my stuff is right next to me, so I can easily get that.
Wow. I love those colors, Juliana.
Oh, thanks. These were just, when I do workshops at my studio, and so sometimes I have an open studio and people just come and work, and we usually start out with a warm up. So in this warm up, I gave everybody different pieces of paper and asked everybody to paint it in different colors. Then we tore them up into scraps and then everybody traded them. And then we just glued down what we had. And it was just going to be a warm up, but everyone had so
Why
much
don't you tell
fun.
Bella we did it?
We did
Pardon?
it.
Yeah, thank you. Is it too hard smelling that all the time, or maybe you don't smell it as much?
What?
The snow blower.
I don't smell it.
Okay, you
Oh, it
guys,
smells
somebody
really
needs to be
horrible
muted. We're
inside.
hearing about a snow blower. So everybody make sure you're muted. Thank you. Okay, so if you are joining us here today, hello, who's not muted? Okay, if you are joining us here today, you have a longing in your heart You are dreaming of accessing your wild, creative, expressive voice in a magical place. Today, we are traveling to Ireland in our imagination, summoning a vision, a dream, a distant place. So we're going to start out with a mixed media warm up. And if you were with me in a class, like I said, this would be much more guided. We don't have that kind of time today. Um, I'm just going to give you guys a directive and you're going to wing it. You're going to be like, I don't know what she means. I don't know how to do it. And then you're just going to do it. Okay, so using as many items, however you're set up there, but as many items as you can. I want you to quickly cover both pages. No white paper showing. And you're gonna test all of your materials. You can add collage, paint, make marks, test everything. Like if it's a pencil, how light can it go? How dark can it go? And once you figure it out, move on. Like we're not making a beautiful picture here. We're just making a background. And you can add stickers, rubber stamps, no stencils yet, please. We are creating a magical background. What feels to us like the essence of the wild Atlantic coast of Ireland, or what it would feel like in our hearts to go there and look out across Clew Bay. You have 5 minutes to completely cover both pages in greens, emeralds, sea colors, rainbow. 5 minutes, okay? Whatever sets the stage of this dream for you. This is not a perfect image. It is just a background. So it should not look good. It should be a mess. You should be done already. Okay, so I'm going to set the timer here for 5 minutes. And then I'll get working so you guys can kind of see what I'm going to do. Sorry for all my sniffing. And normally, in a class, you guys, I would play music, but just so that you guys can hear me, we're going to keep going. So some of this is green, kind of green already. I have some paints that I like. I like my Nova paints from California. If you guys live in Culver City, you can go pick them up. These are my favorite paints. They're fairly inexpensive. So I'm just going to start by maybe painting green over what's not green. Okay. Maybe a little over here, but maybe I'll leave that pink showing through. I'm not making a picture. I'm just getting this on here. That's good. This color. Okay. And I really don't have a lot of green. I'm not really a green person. So I did try to grab as much green as I've got. Okay, maybe I'll just use the same brush. Um, Maybe I'll make some green landscape sort of looking. It feels, maybe water it down a little bit. Yeah, that was nice. Adding water kind of thinned it a little bit. Okay. I think I have like a little bit of a green marker. And on the pink, it's looking a little brown. That's okay. It's still kind of greenish. Maybe I'll blend something here. See what that looks like. Rub it in a little bit. I'm just seeing what it looks like. Hmm. Hmm. Now I don't have to color it in all the way. I can just make little spots and scratches. Oh, scratchy, scratchy, scratchy. Okay, that looks good. Oh, that's fun. Woo, woo. Okay, I'm just messing around. Just trying to get some coverage here. Get some green around all these things. Entertain myself. I don't really have any more green. That was all my green. So I'm going to get some blue here, as I think about that Atlantic Ocean here. Okay, just trying to cover it in. I'm plain, not really attached to what it looks like. I'm just going for coverage, sort of getting things going here. Wasn't attached to that background. Uh, and that's why my books take so long, because I'm just working and reworking. Because I'm not really after art. Good artists are a dime a dozen. I'm after my story. My story is really important to me because I want to learn about me, and why I'm on the planet, what I think, what I feel. So that's what I'm doing in my visual journals.
Mm, yeah.
Hey, we got about 1 more minute.
Mhm.
I got some paint markers. No, what is that? I don't know what I have. Yeah, I don't have any more green. I'm gonna do pink, I guess. It's not working. So at this point, I guess I'm just gonna do whatever because I don't have any more green. Boom, 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 boom. Maybe I'll mush it in a little bit, see what that does. Okay. Just maybe color in these little shapes that I made with that green. That's kind of cool. Kind of like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we're not attached. We're just working the page right now, seeing what kind of different things that we can do. And obviously, my page was already covered, so this is a little bit easier for me. But hopefully, you guys are working real fast and just get it covered. You got 5 more seconds. Get something, just get some paint on there, get some water on there to wash it through. And oh my God. So, okay. So now I'm just getting some water here. And I don't really like it too wet, so I'm just gonna maybe dry it off a little bit. Okay, so you guys want to hold your books up so we can see? It shouldn't be a big mess. It should look like crazy, terrible. Let's see what everybody's doing. I only have a few people's view here. I can't see it. It's hard to, I guess it's hard for you guys. Oh yeah, look at that. So it's nice to see is when we're working in a group is how many, different, like I'm really heavy-handed. And I'm going to be doing these bold, bright colors. But I just saw a really beautiful, soft green page that was lovely. Yeah, I only can see like about 5 people. So unfortunately, I don't know what everybody else is doing. Wait, maybe I can see over here. Yeah, one of these days. Oh, look at Susan Dorff. Look at those beautiful colors there. Wow, that's really gorgeous. And it's going to be hard for you guys to see. Oh, and look at this green. I love how this energy spirals out in Maria's. Maria's in New Mexico. I see maybe there's some collage. Yeah, now I wish I had done some extra collage, which I didn't do any of that. Oh, I see like Susan Crew. I see your little eyeballs there. That's cool. And Leah, I love your skinny, thin book. That's really beautiful. So we can see everybody's working in different size books. Jen has this beautiful, like yellow sky. Okay, this is the place I want to go. That's really beautiful. And Hope Burger, that's really nice too. Like these soft, it's like muted. And then we have this sort of reddish, like a orangish pink space in the center that's sort of that this green energy is cycling around. Becky, I just see your paintings on the wall. Those look great. Okay, let me just kind of come back. Okay, so that's our first layer. Okay, you guys can put your books down and we're gonna go get on to the next. Let me pull my script up. Okay, so if you were truly experimenting, your page is a mess. In the States, We are winding down our winter holidays, and we're thinking today of all our family gatherings, good friends, holiday decorations and presents. So many precious memories to treasure. So I want us all to take about 3 minutes to brainstorm our blessings. What are we grateful for? What are we thankful for? On top of this two-page spread, you will list everything you are grateful for. On top, okay, grateful for. You're going to count your blessings. You'll have to find tools, different tools that write on top of this background. And this can be words, sentences, phrases, lists. Try to use different tools, different handwriting, and lettering styles for each word or phrase. Don't write it the same way or the same size each time. Be experimental. Don't worry about trying to make it look good. Again, we are going to be covering over this, so we're not attached. Okay, let's see, not attached. So we're going to take just a few minutes to create this list on top of our pages. So I love my paint markers. I'm sort of low here. I don't have too many. This is the Molotov, and I like this brand, and I also like my Posca. So you're going to shake it. You're going to kind of like pop it to get the paint going. And I'm going to put right here, kind of big. One of my big blessings, and she's helping us here today. She's our host, is my sister. So I'm gonna put her right here, nice and big, sister. And I can see this is running out. I need to get some new tools. Okay. And I'm just playing with my lettering. I'm less attached, to my blessings than I am trying to be experimental about my letter forms. How can I make these different? And this is kind of blending into my paint. It's a little bit of a problem with the Molotovs, even though they're permanent and they're acrylic, they bleed. Okay, so the black one, if I wanted this to show up better, I could go back around it. No. Oh man, I like needing new everything, but I would outline it to make that. Let's maybe this guy. Okay, but I'm grateful for my studio, my office where we're doing this. I have all my computer stuff. I love New Mexico. And today we have a little bit of rain, which is for us an absolute miracle. So I'm going to add this rain letters. Rain in the desert. You- During the holidays, we have good food. I'm thankful for that. And my other sister, I have two sisters. And we have some little furry friends here. So we're grateful that Macaroni is still with us. Put Macaroni in here. And his good friend Little. My cat Princess. So make some of them big and some of them little. And just get them all in there. And you can even like make little sentences, like maybe I just make a whole list. Love my tattoos. Pink Queen. So now I'm going a little faster here. I'm grateful that Laura Murphy's with us here today. Let's put her on here. Okay. And I think I need to get on here. All of you guys, I'm so happy that you're here today and doing this with me and help me figure out how to do some Zoom classes so I can do some more. So I'm going to say, um, my fellow artists. Okay. So I'm grateful for you guys. Thanks for showing up. Um, some, on here. Okay, let's see if we can get like one or two more words in there. If there's a tool you haven't used yet, like I have all my stuff, all my pens and things in here. My favorite, these are my favorite markers. They don't make these biggies anymore. They make these kind. So you got a thick side, ooh, juicy, and a thin side. And it's really like painting. I use these on paintings. I love them. So I keep all my stuff in here. I always have to have a little bit of pirate with me. Okay, that's good. I love that guy. So all my stuff is just right in these boxes. Okay, let's get one or two more words on there. I'm just going to put up here. Get down. Okay. Okay, so you guys keep working while I read the next part. Okay, this next part, we're going to choose a page, either the right page or the left page. Okay, but you're only going to work on one page. Okay, don't work on both. We're done working on both. We're going to be very selective. We're just going to pick one. It doesn't matter which one. Spontaneously choose. And I want you to roughly illustrate in any way you see fit one of your blessings and or gratitudes. So we've just made our list. And what is the blessing that pops out at you? Don't worry about making it good. You're just going to create the feeling or essence. And you don't have to be a good artist to do this. This is going to be a child's drawing, a cartoon. You can even use a collage image. And we're going to cover over this as well. So don't be attached to what it looks like. You have 5 minutes. So I'm just going to look at and I'm going to pick something. Okay, I just figured out what I'm going to pick. Okay. I'm going to do rain in the desert. It just popped out at me. And these don't have to be, like really, deep blessings. You can just pick one that's easy. Like I could have just maybe made my cat or something, but I'm going to make like these little drops of rain and see where I can put those in. Uh-oh, I better put the timer on. Yeah, so we're just, illustrating this. It's not a big deal. Doesn't have to be brilliant or look great. We're just getting more stuff on our page to deal with later. That's what we like to do. Kind of make this big mess. Yeah, I need some really coming down rain. Coming down. We need more rain than this. Need more than drops. Work on my rainy sky a little bit. Make it gray. Falling down the rain now. I mean, I think it's going to be rainy in Ireland. Kind of rainy and wet. That would be
Yes,
really good for me.
probably will.
Laura, what?
It probably will.
Yeah, that's gonna be so good for me. I'm so locked in this desert and I really don't ever get any moisture. That's gonna be really good for me. Need to get wet. I don't need to feel that. Okay. So you guys have just a couple more minutes to try to illustrate. Remember, just one page. It's really easy to kind of move into that other page, but we're just doing one page. Maybe I'll make some rain pooling up on the bottom here. Pooling up. It's a lot of rain. Okay. I got 2 more minutes, so I'm just going to keep going. Mhm. And really with the mixed media, we're just playing with our materials. We're just layering. We're seeing what they do. How do they react? Well, like this was cool that I learned that this marker actually drew right on top of my paint, which is kind of wet. So I didn't think it would do that. So I like that. And just having fun sort of working. We're working. This is our practice. We're not trying to make something or be good or impress anybody. We're just, being and making. Okay. So let's close that up. And maybe you guys can hold up so far what's happening on your one page. Can anybody give me a show of that one page? I mean, these should look shitty. You shouldn't be nervous to show it. It should look like a mess. Yeah, Sybil, energy, love that. Yeah, Lydia, look at that beautiful color on that page now. And I think what ends up happening when we do this, you guys, is that here I can see some of these pages. Hey, Rico, your page looks awesome. Is that and hey, look at this lovely, I love your cat. Hope, I love your cat. That when we're just playing, things happen that we wouldn't normally plan on. Like you can't plan on this. And so hopefully right now when we look at this, we're like, oh, that looks like like crazy. That's too crazy, but that's good. Okay, so now let's take a look at this other page. So whichever page you worked on, we're gonna do something on the next page. We'll leave this page to dry for now. So now I want you to roughly illustrate what you can't get to. You're going to roughly illustrate through collage or a cartoon, diagram, whatever it is, just a few minutes, what you can't get to. And that's all I'm going to say about that. And remember, the visual journal is for you. This is not the image You're going to post to Instagram. This is for your eyes only. We are after information, not great artistry. Good artists are a dime a dozen. We are after the natural voice. Okay, so what I can't get to, and I'm looking at this and I actually kind of like this, and I like the energy of this compared to this downpour that's happening over here. But what comes to me about this, and I don't think I can do it in a picture. I think I'm gonna have to do it in some words. And again, just as I was looking at this, it came to me. So I'm gonna put that in there, and I'm gonna do it maybe in a blue. Maybe that'll show up. So I could obliterate everything to get my words in here. All right, I'm actually trying to fit it in. I don't have to. I'm trying to fit it in and work around what's already here. And I'm actually giving you guys a lot of time. Normally in my classes, especially at my studio, I really make those guys go fast. And the point of that is just, in a sense, to stress everybody out, right? That seems counterproductive, counterintuitive. But actually, when people are stressed out, they give up. And that's always what I'm trying to get people to do, is to give up. Because otherwise, we're trying to make something, and we're trying to make something look good. And so I give all these random crazy layers to distract everybody from themselves so that hopefully they give up, they start playing and release themselves from that outcome, from trying to plan it, and just see what happens when we let the page evolve. Okay. Okay, so maybe I'm going faster, but maybe another minute or so for you guys. And then we'll go to the next thing.
Mm.
Mhm. Okay, we're gonna close that up. And you guys can keep. Oh yeah, we have one more step. We have one more step there. Okay, hopefully everybody brought some stencils. Okay, so I have my little stencil folder here. And we're going to add stencils that go across both pages. But just 3 or 4 here and there, and it's not going to be the whole stencil. It's not going to be all over. You can change your colors. You can change your stencils. And I'm a terrible stenciler. Mine are always blobby and they look terrible. I'm gonna pick this one. I think I like this guy. Let's see what happens. Okay, so my page is like really green and kind of dark, and I feel like I'm not sure what's gonna show up. And I'm gonna put that there. I'm thinking, maybe this yellow ochre is kind of you want a color that's more opaque. That's gonna be best for us. And I know people, use brushes like this, and then they blot it like that. Okay, that's not how I'm in too much of a hurry for that. And I do know not too much paint. Yeah, I'm terrible stenciler, but I love it. So fun. And I'm gonna do this. And it's hard to get in like across the crease of the book. And I can decide if I want to save some stuff, like if I like some things, I can save them. And I'm not going to do my whole entire stencil. I'm just going to do a little bit here and there, okay? Oh, that looks like shit. So that's good. You guys see, it's like I'm a terrible stenciler, but I do kind of like that this little guy turned out. I'll try to do it better. Let me add another one that's a little bit maybe not so bad. I'm a little bit more careful. I know that if you have too much paint on your brush, and I'm also really heavy-handed, so if I was more careful, I could probably do this better, but that's sort of not my skill. Gentle, delicate, I can't do that. So I'm trying to be kind of more careful here, and I'm also a little too fast. Uh, that's so funny. That's just as bad. That's terrible. Um, so this is good, you guys. My stencils are turning out actually worse than even normal. I don't know what that's about. But so sometimes that happens. And in the meantime, I'm still just getting color on here, and that's okay. That's good. That's what we want. Okay, that's much better. Okay, see, I think I just had too much paint here. And maybe what I'm gonna do a little bit, just blot that up a little. Blot that up a little. Okay. Well, I'm gonna add, and we see how much better it shows up in the dark. So I'm gonna put a little bit over here. But I would say, 2 or 3 or 4 little areas of stencil. And it's just in a few little places here and there. Okay. Okay, that's good. That looks good. I'm gonna put some over here too. But I'm gonna try, and this is hard. I'm gonna try to save my letters a little bit. Let's see if I can kind of go around my letters. Okay. Sort of. And then I'll just, put my stencil on top of a magazine. I don't, I never clean mine off. I should. They get messed up, and then you can't get a good print with them, and then I just have to buy a new one. But okay, so hopefully everybody has just a few little stencils there going across. And again, we were planning like, oh, maybe I want to make mine like a light green so that it matches my Emerald Isle idea of a page. But it's better just to work with what we have. So then later in reconciliation, if I want to make this green again, I'll do that. but I also want to allow this to become what it needs to become, which may have nothing to do with green, with Ireland. It's a completely new story. So I do want to be open to that. So I'm going to read our next part here. And this is reconciliation. And we're not going to have very much time for this. And I do want you guys to remember in reconciliation, it can really take a long time. It can take years, it can take decades. So we want to be patient. I don't want you guys to worry about, like, oh, I didn't finish, or even, I don't like what I made. Is that what visual journaling is? Yes. Yes, sometimes it is. And we have to be okay with that, like allowing ourselves to be in that space. So reconciliation is the final process when creating a visual journaling page. It's like we make this big mess in a big hurry, and then we slow down and we try to figure it out. Our first step is always to get a new view. So what I want everybody to do is to stand your books up to get a better view. And if it doesn't fit on your table, you can kind of hold it out from you at a distance, but you really want to hold it out. And the idea is that when we're working, we're looking down. We're looking down. And we need to look eye to eye at this thing, eye to eye. That's a new perspective for us. So you're going to hold this up and can we make a big mess? Okay, hold our books up, get into perspective, arm's length, try to get a little distance, eye to eye with this thing. So now, holding it up, I want you to walk around this journal page spread to notice, sorry, walk around this journal page spread as if it were a room. I want you to notice where you are most and or least comfortable. What's happening over there in that dark corner? We're just gonna like walk around. Like, I've got these yellow blobs here. What's that about? Um, what words stand out to you? Do they invite or repel you? Usually while you're looking at your pages, I tell a story to help enter more deeply into your own stories, but we're pressed for time. So I'm just going to be brief here. But before I get to that, okay, so what I want to do here, so I'm going to try to, I have to, lay it down for you guys, but so like what I notice when I walk around my page, I weirdly, honestly like what's going on here. And I'm not sure why. I like this sort of real life. It's a little off kilter. It's a little messy. This is starting to have some clarity here. Here, but we lose it here. There's something that feels like it's falling off and falling over here, collapsing. I get the sense of collapsing in the center here. And then I have this energy, this driving force of rain here. And we see it come from the top of this miracle. It's coming from the top of this miracle and then throwing itself down, right? And we have more energy over here. I notice we have, the macaroni here. We've got this greenish gold leaf. I don't know what this little star is, but I like it. I notice that I have these lines growing across, all this stuff here, these lines, this energy. So it's sort of like a zig zag, and then this off kilter. And I didn't make it all green. I left some of my pink here, so I'm curious about that. I'm curious about that pink and why it's showing up here. So that's what I want you guys to do. You're just gonna walk around your pages, notice what you like, notice what you don't like, and that includes like colors, like, oh, I don't think I like that color. I don't like that shape. I love this thing over here. I don't even understand it, but I love the energy of it and I love what's happening. Okay, so now we'll go back to reconciliation. Like I said, I usually tell a long story to further distract you guys. But our reconciliation here, this is sort of a question, but what is the bridge between the blessing page and your trauma page? We're calling this our trauma page, what we can't get to. Because usually when we can't get to something, there's actually something underneath that. So, what is the bridge between these two pages? Can the blessing help your trauma? What is the bridge? How are the 2 pages of gratitude and what you can't get to actually one story? How can you unite these 2 pages? Um, to me, honestly, I feel like my 2 pages are working together. I'm not even sure why I have that feeling or that energy. But so if I say, this is my trauma and this is my blessing page, how do I bring them together? And I think because I started with this, there's something around, it's in the center, so it's already bringing them together. But I think what I'm going to do, I'm thinking of the unification, and you guys don't even have to really, understand your bridge, but you're just thinking about connecting. So for me, that might be that I'm going to take this rain and get some over here. Okay. Now I've got some rain here and I'm breaking up the blob of this yellow. So I've got some rain here. So I'm just going to do that, and see if that helps with some of that stuff. And I do like that. And part of it is that I just liked making those lines. That was really fun. So I'm going to do that. So in reconciliation, we make a big mess and then in a way, we try to tidy it all up. Okay, so again, what is the bridge between the blessing page and the trauma page? How are the 2 pages of gratitude and what you can't get to? This is one story. These are not 2 separate stories. This is one. And as we move into reconciliation, now you guys can put your books down and you can forget everything I just said because I wasn't talking to you. I was talking to that wild, authentic voice inside who knows just what to do. And you are actually in his or her way. How do we get started? How do we know where to begin? We start by starting. If you take a class with me, you'll hear me say that over and over. We start by starting. We start by touching your stuff, your tools, and your materials. A voice will say, yes, this. No, not that. So you literally have to touch your materials. You don't need to know anything. You don't need to know what to do next. A voice will say, I like painting, or I like stencils. You don't need to know. Okay. 5 minutes later, she may say, paint over all of that. And you just keep going from one task to the next. Don't try to see the outcome. Stay focused on each step and keep going with that step until it feels done. You'll know. In visual journaling, we don't worry about finishing everything. We are concerned with gathering information. Reconciliation can take years, so we are patient. So we're going to take maybe about 5 minutes here. We don't have a lot of time to reconcile these pages, and we're going to start by starting. Again, you don't have to know what to do next. So usually, like I said, I was like, well, I liked this rain, so I'm going to put that there. And I don't like this. I mean, I like this yellow here, but now that I added this rain, well, that guy feels lonely. So I think what I'm going to do, and I know that I wasn't very successful with my stencils, but I'm going to try it again. And I think I'm going to add like a white color. And in my journals, I like to use these cheapy craft paints because they are, yeah. So she's saying Barbara is saying, I just happened to see this. What if my wild, authentic self wants to cut out pieces of this page and place them together differently on another page? The answer is yes. But there's also, for me, it's sometimes it's like that we don't want to just obliterate for the sake of obliteration. So my suggestion is bef before you before you do that, and I think it's a really wild and wonderful idea to do that, to take what exists here and replace it someplace else. But again, to me, it's sort of almost like that's an art project. Now I'm going to take what I don't like and make it better somewhere else. So my suggestion is always to stay where we are and try to understand why these things are here and why we don't like them. Like, what is the information here for this? Like, I don't like you like that. I don't feel happy looking at you now. I used to like you and now I don't. So what I'm after is the information. Again, when we're after art, that's a different approach. We want to make that look good. But here it's like, well, what is sort of the meaning behind everything? Because then it's like for me, once I've figured out the story, I can move on. I have this other journal. So, um, I'm still working back and forth with this one, but things will get painted out so that I can add my picture here, right? Now I took what was here and it started to develop into another story. So I'm, really just working back. This is kind of what we're doing here until I decide what to do with it. So my pages usually start out like this. They start out as a mess, but what I'm trying to do is find out through working what's going to happen. Like, what is the story going to reveal to me about my blessing and my trauma? How can they work together? How can they possibly maybe, be friends, so that my life doesn't feel like it's separated into these little tragic moments, that they're all working together. And for reconciliation, we really need a lot of private time. We can't have, Juliana's voice in the background bugging us the whole time. We really need to be able to be quiet with our thoughts. Like right now, I would have, music on. And, if you ever take, an online workshop with me, none of those are Zoom. They're all pre-recorded, but you can see me go through this long, and it's hours, this long process of reconciliation where I'm trying to find the story. I'm trying to connect myself with my own story, my own voice, and my own truth. Oh, I did a good job. Okay, I'm gonna put it down here. Try to lay it in the same place again. Then you're gonna add a little bit more here. Mhm. And if we were in a class, I would have some mood making music on here. So I'm just gonna give you guys like 2 minutes and you're just gonna like now I do this stencil. And now that I did the stencil, I kind of changed everything. So what am I gonna do next? And I just go through these different steps. And actually I think it's gonna be too hard for me. Like even for me, I need to be in my own private space with my own heart and my own mind, my own spirit to think about what to do here. But what I'm gonna even though I haven't really done reconciliation, if this were my page and I said, I'm done, I finished, then now I'm gonna tell my story. And what I see here is right, I had my trauma be, I can't get to what's really important to me. And when I went to create this page, what came to me was just the words, my real life. Like, I'm not living my real life because all this other stuff is in the way. But in here, I can see Princess. That's my cat. My sister's still here a little bit. Leaf. To me, that just sort of feels like taking care of the house. We've got leaves everywhere from the fall. We've got macaroni over here, this pattern, the energy of the rain. And I think the big thing about this page, this blessing page, is that up here, this was miracles. And I think when I first started, it already felt pretty integrated to me. And so even though I feel these things don't go together, my story is disparate. I'm not living my real life. What these pages are saying to me, my life is a miracle. I'm living my best life yet. So why don't I get out of my way? Like, why don't I decide what my real life is and let it rain down on me, right? So now I'm connecting all of these things to tell my story, and I'm getting energy from it, right? I'm feeling like, oh, this is what I'm telling myself. I say this, oh, I feel this. I'm not doing this. I'm not good at that. That's not happening. But when I get here and I'm really talking to myself and I let myself listen, what I'm getting is my truth. And that's more of what I should be living than all of this other helter-skelter stuff. So again, I wish we had more time to do this. We're gonna we need to get take a break here so that we have some time to talk to Laura. But if anyone wants to show up your page, I'm just gonna look at a few, and I mean, you guys, we're not gonna feel like I didn't finish. We know we're not finished. We're looking at how did people get started. So if anybody wants to hold that up for me. Susan, how do I see that so that it's bigger?
Susan name.
I don't know how to do that.
Spotlight
The
it.
host, yeah, the host can unspotlight you and spotlight her.
Okay, I don't. Shriek, does that make sense to you?
Am I
Yeah, we might not know how to do it.
hear me?
Yeah,
Is it Susan Dorf?
yeah,
All right, hold on.
yeah. So look at all the energy, and
That's
maybe
it.
it's too high. Put it in front of your face. Yeah, like, all of this energy coming through here and how she was just free with the pattern. And again, like, I think this is wonderful. I would say, post that on Instagram. But for most of us, the work that we do, that's the visual journaling, it's just for us. It's not for us to prove what a great artist we are. It's like we're trying to be who we are here. Like, I love this eyeball through this hand and how the hand is the face here. There's like, a person or a creature back there. There's so much, and the hand is over here again. There's so much hand and eye energy, and this sort of light bolt coming through this other extra mountain or eye over there. Let's see what other people are doing. Let's go to Cheryl Doherty. Sri, are you able to find Cheryl Doherty? It's SHRL, I mean YLE. I don't know if we can do it. Yeah, look at all of this. Look at all the colors she got there and all the energy. And again, we all did the same assignment. It all looks completely different. And that's what we're aiming for. I don't know about you guys, but like when I look on Instagram or something, it's like everybody's work kind of looks the same. So here, even though we're doing mixed media, we're using kind of similar tools. It all looks different. And so I encourage everybody to have this place where you go. The visual journal is your place to go to unwind, to be you, and to figure out your story. I don't know if you guys like Cheryl, did you want to say anything about what it was like to work on this?
Oh, it was a lot of fun. I love it. I love the prompts because it keeps you from being too much in your head. You need to just keep moving on, which is great.
Right, right. Good. Okay, good work. We're going to look at one more. Can we pull up Susan Crew? Thank you so much. Yeah, both of you guys, thank you so much for your bravery. Oh, and look at your beautiful painting in the background. That's beautiful. Okay, Susan Crew. So here we almost feel like this is a real story here. It's like it's real images. Like mine was not any images. It was just like pattern and color. And I love this, beautiful lion on the left, the energy of that. Oh, it says dogs, and then this owl with the crown. I think and I love these colors. Like this does this teal or emerald, the energy of it, the power of the look of that owl. Susan, can you unmute yourself and say what you were working on there?
The thing that I can't get to is my fiery, authentic self.
Oh,
And that's the question I held as I was putting things on the paper. So the owl turns out to be, the story's still unfolding, definitely. So there's a lion energy and owl energy that I need to somehow uh, integrate into my person. So as I say, it's an unfolding story.
yeah, and so it's like we already feel the power of what's going on here just from this face of this owl. It's so intense. And that she repeated this eye shape, like kind of down at the bottom of the page, that's that sort of moving through, and the energy of her lion. So maybe Susan's story is similar to mine in that she's seeking something that she already has. And if we just kind of let ourselves do it, like it shows up. So that's another question too, like why aren't we showing up in that way? So wonderful work, Susan. Thank you for being brave and sharing it with us. We're gonna move on, you guys. I wish
Thank
I
you.
could look at everybody's. We had no idea so many people were gonna sign up. I'm like overwhelmed. So Rico says, do you make your own stencils? Mostly the ones that I use in my journals, I do not. I buy these pre-made ones. Sometimes if I'm working on an art project, and usually it's more the words that I would cut my own stencils, and you can do that with Yupo. You can cut them, with a matte knife or something. Um, I know, like I had someone make me stencils when I went to an art residency in Morocco, and she did it with a burning tool. And that was really the first time I used stencils, and that's when I became in love with them. So, I'm so grateful that somebody was so loving and clever as to make these stencils for me, and then I started using those. And I think that I like, because my work's at least here kind of messy. I like that the stencil is clean. So Yupo, I think it's Yupo. It's like it looks like plastic, but people use it as paper, like they paint on it. And Rico, they have that at is it Tackage? The printmaking shop here in Albuquerque. So you can find it there, and you can cut it like make your own stencils, shapes and stuff. I wish I did that. I don't. There's so much fun stuff for us to do in our art. Okay, so we're gonna move on. Okay, let me just make sure I've said all I wanted to say in my little script over here. Uh just quickly, the thing that I really do now, and I kind of showed you guys in this little book, is pirate journals. And I don't have time to kind of go into why I did that. Pretty much everything I do now is my pirate journals. And I would say this book's a little bit, I don't know, less dramatic than some of my others, and maybe just because I haven't gotten very far in it yet. Like I'm still just building up pages, trying to figure out what to do. Um, but I love the theme. It's empowering, and there's power in reclaiming our stories in the voice of an alter ego. She is brave, cunning, daring, and she don't take our shit. Pirate Queens has been my favorite workshops since 2009, and I met my brethren there. So it's not just the art that we make together, but the bonds we forge, a sisterhood, or as I like to call it, a brethren. It has been my dream to teach in Ireland. What better place to pursue the pirate queens and their radical wild wisdom than Grace O'Malley's birthplace? We'll visit Rockfleet Castle and potentially go inside and sketch for real. Okay, so I have a lot more to say, but I don't want to take too much time. I'll have to do another one and talk more about it. But Laura Murphy is going to join us, and she's going to talk a little bit about, kind of do a little presentation about Essence of Mulroney arts in County Mayo in Ireland, and hopefully entice you guys to be interested in taking this workshop with us in May. And I'll put while Laura's talking, I'm going to put the links to some of these things in the chat. Thank you, everybody, and I'm going to hand it over to Laura.
Hi, everybody, and thanks, Juliana, and thanks everyone for being here. I'm so excited that Juliana agreed to come. It's just the most extraordinary, I won't say coincidence, because I think these things are meant to be, but I just happened to spot her work on Instagram, and I just immediately knew that she was the perfect person for this place, because we're right here at the birthplace of Grace O'Malley, who was the Pirate Queen, or Granuaile, as she's known in Ireland. So she was 16th century. She actually met Queen Elizabeth. She was a very well educated. She spoke Latin and was able to communicate with Queen Elizabeth that way. But just an extraordinary leader. Her father had owned. I guess, shipping ships and passage between Ireland and the UK. And so when she grew up, she inherited his shipping business, which really basically was piracy. But she was a very strong woman who kind of demanded that, deference was paid to her, which was the correct thing. And so she grew up in an island just across from where our studio is, which we will be visiting as part of this retreat. And it's a wonderful place. It's where she's buried also. And her home is just down the road from us. So, she was just a remarkable person. So, yeah. And I think to do journals like this, it's funny, when I was doing the journal with Juliana, and what I can't get to was sort of such a, simple thing. Well, it was cleaning my closet. But then, as my page then progressed, which actually is really messy, but
No, it's beautiful, beautiful.
yeah, but I can't, yeah, I actually like it.
I love it.
It does have, but I can really feel that freedom that you kind of bring out in people. But so I realized, okay, it's much bigger than cleaning my closet. I mean, the things I can't get to are feeling like sometimes I get overwhelmed by all the different things that I'm doing, or, stuff like that. And sometimes I need to maybe just organize myself a little more. So that's what this is about. And it just became so clear. So I can really see the value of this, and how, as a tool for life, and for maybe self-reflection and stuff like that. But yeah. So thanks, Juliana. It's really amazing. I mean, I'm just
You're
so glad,
welcome.
that I reached out to you and that you agreed. And I think it's a dream come true for everybody who will be with us. It really is the most extraordinary, soulful place. And I think too, she had got a lot of history is written by men a lot of the time. And so, her story wasn't told from the point of view of what an amazing accomplishment it was that this woman she had an army of about 1,000 men who were encamped right beside her castle, which I said is, a couple of 100 yards from where we are. And she held this whole village together. Everybody was taken care of. there was animals there, and they grew food and all this sort of, just an amazing place. And she held that together for her whole life. She was in her 70s, I think, when she passed. So, but her entire life, she was this really powerful, strong woman, and she wasn't afraid of anyone. And so I think it's just a great way to live your life. So thanks, Juliana.
Well, can you tell us, like, what's the retreat center like?
Oh, yes.
Like, like how close are we to the studio?
Well, we've just built a brand new building. So our original studio, we have about 3 different campuses, but the original studio part is in an old convent, and it looks right out over Clew Bay. So we see the whole area where she would have sailed. We can see Clare Island, which was her home place, from our windows. But we have just built a brand new building that has 10 bedrooms, and also another studio. There's a metal studio there for jewelry making and stuff like that, if anyone wants to do some of that while they're here. But yeah, it's right beside the studio, so it'll be accessible 24/7.
Awesome.
Yeah, so if people, I think that there's such value to coming to a place like that, and then, building that camaraderie, and then working late together, and exploring, and it's really it's like, I think it's transformational, really.
I agree, and I'm so excited because I think, if you guys have ever taken, a longer workshop with me, it's like, it's one thing to work together in a couple of hours, but to live with each other day after day. And what I'm going to say about the Pirate Queens is it's like you will be a pirate queen when you leave there. When I did this retreat in Key West in 2009, like um, we kind of we lived and breathed this alter ego self, this woman of power, this woman of strength, this woman who said what she needed to say and claim what she needed to claim. And it's a really transformational experience. And I just feel like traveling to this place, it's gonna be a challenge. And I'm looking for people to come with me because it's gonna be scary. And so we're gonna do it together. And another thing is like, well, how do we do it? Like, how do we get the money to go? Even though I'm being paid for teaching, I'm gonna stay longer. So I need more money. I'm gonna have to do fundraisers. And I want us to all think about with each other, like, how do we make our dreams come true? How do we figure out how to create these fundraisers and get our friends and family to support us to live our dreams? Because that's really what we're talking about here. Um, right? So we fly into Dublin and then what?
Fly into Dublin and take a train across the entire country, which only takes a couple of hours because it's a very small country. And if anyone gets lost, just call me. I'll come and get you. But you get to Westport, and then we collect you there with our our tour guide, Colin. So I know some of you guys who are on here have met Colin, and he is just wonderful. So he has an entirely new schedule arranged for this workshop because we are taking the boat across to Clare Island, and we're spending some time there. This is, Grace's home place, where she was born, where she lived and ran her business out of. And then he will pick us up at the other side, and we'll do some more touring on Achill Island. So it's a really new route that we've planned, and it's really exciting. He's really excited about the idea, particularly because just recently a book was published about her that was written by a woman, a local woman, and she has so much information that really has never been seen before. So there's a lot of interest.
What book is that?
It's called Granuel.
Okay, I
Yeah,
gotta
you
get
might.
it.
Her name is Anne. What is her name? Anne. I've got copies of it here. But
I
I'll
mean, because
send you.
Anne Chambers, that's an old
Yeah, Anne
book.
Chambers. Yeah.
She wrote that like 30 years ago.
Well, then it must have been
I think it's just the
redone.
edition. I think they
Yeah,
reissued the edition, but yeah,
yeah.
it's
Maybe it was out of print or something, but no,
yeah,
this
because
is
she's really the
not an
authority.
old book. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, and she's actually from this town right here in Newport. So
Oh,
it's
really?
she's got all the information about it. So
So
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys want to put in the chat any questions for Laura.
Oh yeah, let me look and see if there's any
I
questions.
mean, I'm trying to look here. It's hard. I don't see too much. Any questions about, traveling to Ireland? I know,
Well, people can always
visa.
email me if they need any information. I mean, it's pretty straightforward, and people are really friendly, and
Yeah.
it's really lovely.
Well,
Um,
another thing about, doing this work, this visual journaling work is that, it's really intensive, but it's also just really like awakening and stirring. And we're gonna all do it like together. And, each day being in the studio and working in our books together, really, if you've never done it before, it's a really incredible um just experience to be not only with yourself in that way, but with your sisters in
mhm.
that way. Whether you like them or not, they're part of your journey and they will influence your journey. And you guys will learn stuff from each other. Like when we go around and we share our work and we talk about it, again, it's not about being good artists, it's about learning to tell our stories. I'm trying to think what my questions are. What about the food?
Oh, well, the food is fantastic. My husband is actually the chef. Didn't
What?
I? Yeah, didn't I tell you that? And he's
No, no, but
just
I do know he's Norwegian, right?
Danish.
Danish, sorry.
Danish, yeah. He's
Viking.
actually here in the kitchen right now, and there's just amazing smells coming from there. But no, it's a big part, I think, of the retreats, to have really great food and great drinks and really great excursions. And we do authentic stuff like, going to the pub, for example, and joining local people in dancing. Um, depending on what's on, of course. And then we have storytellers, we have musicians who join us. So, yeah, there's lots of different things happening. I think people really love it.
And are all the meals included?
Yeah, well, there's one meal out. There's a lunch and a dinner that are not, that they're out, but everything else is included.
Okay, I'm gonna put the class in the chat again. I already did that, but then people were more chatting, so we'll put this there. Jan says the food is fabulous. Okay,
What's the date of this workshop?
good question. So this is May, what is it? 7 through no.
I have to look in my phone.
Okay,
Oh my God.
let's click on this link and go here. Let's see what it says. May 5th through May 12th, 2026.
That's a really beautiful time of year to be here as well. May is often the best month of the year, with the least rain and just wonderful weather. So it's going to be amazing.
We're going to be doing sketching outside, and again, not perfect urban sketchers that post on Instagram, but stuff that we're going to be using these wild backgrounds for the work that we're going to do in the visual journaling assignments. So they're going to help us,
Mhm.
express ourselves in different ways. And um,
And you know about the wild goats that we have here, right, Juliana?
I do,
We
but go ahead and tell about them. I just
oh,
posted a
they're
video.
They're the, they're the most magical little creatures. They just look like little unicorns. They're incredible, and they're 5,000 years old. Their lineage. They were brought over from the Iberian Peninsula to Ireland, but they're the only ones that are now indigenous to Ireland and left, in the mountains around Mulranny. There are Mulranny goats, so they're absolutely gorgeous.
Lovely.
I had a chance to go and visit them as well, and they're great for sketching. So they're really fun little things. But they probably were a big part of Grace's life as well, because she would have had herds of those domesticated and used for making clothing and for milk and meat and that kind of thing.
Wow.
Yeah, it's really fun.
Juliana, Juliana,
Yes?
question about, do you bring your own supplies?
Yes, you will have to. And that's going to be the difficult thing about traveling. And, me as teacher, I'm going to have to bring a lot more stuff. So,
Well,
you
I
guys,
remember said that to you, Julianne. If people weren't to work in altered books, I have a local bookstore here that keeps old vintage books for me. And so, yeah, I have tons of those if people want to use something like that, that's, authentically, sometimes not Irish, but authentically from here. And then sometimes they're even written in Irish, which is really great. Um,
be
and
amazing.
knows if they want to, it depends on what you want to do. But then these other things like, these concertina sketchbooks, we have a little store here that sells them and they're really inexpensive.
Right.
There's
They
tons of
do
things.
have an art store. Do you guys have just the stuff for encaustic or do you have other mixed media?
We have some mixed media, but it depends. So we have
Yeah.
things like, these sort of water pens, and we have these kind of, um, they're like watercolors, but on sheets. I don't know if anyone's, they're
Yeah.
great for travel. They're really cool. So, that sort of thing. And then pens, just regular, I don't know what they're called.
Well, I
The
make, as it gets closer, I make videos about how to choose a book, but Laura's going to be collecting these books for us. Some of these are like, from the
hundreds of
1700s,
years old. Yeah. Yeah.
so that's going to be really exciting. So we can do that. I'll have videos for how to pack it up, how to, travel on a plane with your stuff. And yeah, it's definitely we're gonna have to do as little as we can, but also, for whoever's going, I think it's a good idea for all of us to just be like, okay, I'll bring the red paint. So that maybe
Yeah.
we're
There's stuff like
sharing
that
and
I can
bringing
have
some
here.
stuff because that's definitely the hardest thing about, going to traveling abroad for a art workshop. And honestly, you guys, I'm the person you see with the big ass suitcase, falling over, crying, trying to drag all her stuff through the airport, never trying to get everybody's help because I'm bringing way too much stuff. And I try not to, but that's just how I ride.
Well, Juliana, I have like, studio stocks of, we'll say, basic acrylic paints, oil pastels,
Okay.
pen pastels, things like that that people can use, collage materials, stencils, stuff like that.
Well,
So
we'll make a
really,
list of all of that.
Mhm.
That'll come as we, but definitely just so you
Yeah.
guys know them. No, the materials are not included. Anything else?
I'll just look at the chat here.
How about receiving the
Oh,
free?
someone was just visiting there.
How many people can attend? How much space do you have?
I don't know, but I'd like to keep it small. I need at least 8 people to do it. And certainly, we're open to more, but I would really like to keep it between 8 and 10. I
Yeah.
don't know what the maximum is
Maximum
though.
anyway is like 12 to 14. So
Yeah, it's like it's
and really,
intimate.
it's a really intimate group, and that's lovely. And people have a chance to really connect with each other, and it's just so much fun, hanging out with like-minded people who, and I think art has its own language that really brings us together and connects, and it's just people form such strong bonds. It's really beautiful.
And
So
there's a question, wait, there's a question of how much?
How much what?
How much is the retreat?
Oh, it's all on the information sheet. I actually don't know offhand, but it's all on the link that Juliana has put on the chat.
And I
Uh,
do know that the deposit is 500. And for you guys here in this workshop, when you make your payment, if you send Laura an email and say that you were in the Zoom workshop and you want the discount, you'll receive $200 discount on your final payment for the retreat. And it does include, your housing and your meals. Obviously, you have to pay for your plane fare and your ticket too. Um, your train ticket.
Train ticket is like $20. It's
$20. Okay.
yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, there's
But
things,
everything, once you get here, everything pretty much
yeah.
is included.
And I've done, you guys, I did a retreat to Egypt like, I don't know when, 2009. And I think that trip was like $9,000. So,
Wow.
so it's a range of prices. And again, it's like, like I'm going to be there for weeks doing an artist residency and then traveling. My ancestry is there. I'm going to look for my family. And I'm not really making enough money to do that kind of a trip. I've got stuff to pay at home while I'm gone. So I have to figure it out. We can all help each other figure out. Like I need to make this happen. I need, to do this kind of a fundraiser and we can talk to each other about how to do that. But I think that we can help each other to live these dreams. Can you also try?
Post the links again, please.
Yeah, I've done it. This is yeah, I've done it repeatedly, but let me do it again, you guys. And then make sure, like I said, that you email Laura and let her know that you were here.
Mm-hmm.
And
And any questions at all, just let me know. Maybe I
so
could put my
trip insurance, and maybe Sheree can talk a little bit about that too. You really want that. Travel Guard is one. I think there's another company. I want to say it's like
Max.
50, something like that, or is that a long time ago?
I think that's a little bit, I say, it depends on the coverage that you get. I was in Vienna a few years ago and arrived with what they thought was an abscess and actually later turned out to be a tumor. And I spent 5 days in the hospital and I racked up a bill of almost 10,000 euro and I was completely uninsured. And the moral of the story is every time I travel since, I get travel insurance. And so I just highly recommend it. It'll cover your bags, but it'll cover any kind of medical fees that you might accrue for whatever reason.
Yeah, and I think like if they lose your bags and you have to buy clothes, which is always a possibility when you're traveling, that you bring in your carry-on,
Yeah.
an extra change of clothes, extra pair
And
of
these
underwear.
days you just never know.
Yeah,
There's COVID. I mean, that's still sort of,
yeah.
rears its ugly head every now and again. And if people arrive with it, I mean, they need to quarantine still, like not be part of, the workshop. So it's kind of, it's an important component, I think, for peace of mind. So we have it for everything else. So I think it's really important for workshops as well and travel.
Yeah.
A World Nomad is another good company that do it.
So who is Isabella? Who is your friend? I actually have a friend who says that they think their family is related to Grace O'Malley, and I need to get her I need to like make a interview of her because I love that. She says that she's a descendant. So we'll have to see with the DNA. But so anyways, Isabella wrote in the chat that she said, this is so wild that my friend was telling me all kinds of family history of Grace. I can't believe they're related to Grace. And I especially can't believe I'm here by chance today. Yay! Miracles, magic, magic. Yeah, cool. Okay, thank you. Um, any other questions? And I also put in, and maybe I'll do it again, you guys. I'm working on a class right now that's almost done to do like a little bit of a taste of pirate journaling because we just did like general visual journaling. And so it's going to give you a sense of like what it feels like to do that, to embody this alter ego. And I wanted to have it ready for you guys today, but I unfortunately I've been sick all week and I haven't okay, I'm looking for the link. Let me try to find it over here. So I didn't get to finish it, but I do have I do have a lot of online workshops. They don't have the Zoom component. They are control C. Sorry, I'm like trying to do stuff on the computer here. And they'll teach you if you want to learn more about visual journaling, and then you can do it on your own time in your own pace. So you can get more of a taste of real visual journaling so you can say, I don't know, I'm not sure about this. I need a little bit more experience in visual journaling before I decide to commit to travel all the way to Ireland for this business. So I just put that in the chat, my link to those classes. Laura, what was the other travel insurance company you mentioned? I think you're on mute.
Sorry, yes, I actually muted because my dog was barking. So World Nomad.
What?
World Nomad.
World Nomad.
Yeah, that's another one.
Hmm.
That's pretty good, I think. I actually have AAA insurance, and that's really good too. I don't
Oh,
know if you have that in the US, so I don't know whether it's a US thing.
I'll
Um,
see. I'll
yeah,
see.
that's but it's worked out really good, and it's probably less expensive than the others. But as I said, that's Ireland. I don't know if you guys have that.
Okay, I'll look into that because I have AAA for my car insurance.
Oh, right, yeah. Wow, they probably do have it then.
Yeah. Okay,
So,
you guys, anything else before we close up here? Here, let me see if there's like anything else in my script. Looking up at the,
Yeah, I think
yeah, I had more to say, but okay, so I want to thank all of you brave souls for joining us today. Please give a big thank you to Laura Murphy and also to my sister Shri, who set this all up for me and is hosting this for me. If you still didn't get your questions answered, please email myself or Laura. The email addresses are in the chat, but we're easy to find. Make sure you email Laura when you register and request the Zoom workshop discount. We said about the online classes. Uh, Thank you for joining us, and we hope to embrace our inner pirate queens with you all in Ireland. Okay.